Want to thank our sponsor, Parati's Quality Meats, located in Cranford, New Jersey, serving customers all over New Jersey for the past 50 years. Welcome, everyone. The Shore Football Report presents the coach's view from the sideline, and this is week 12. I'm Coach Davis. Coach Hoadley over there in the, what's that, ship bottom? Live bottom. Live bottom shirt.
Just got done fishing off the beach trying to get my last striper in, but nowhere near looking as dapper as my friend right there, Coach Rob Davis.
Coach, you're making me blush. Stop it.
You can tell it must be getting close to state championship weekend, putting on the shirt and the tie, dressing up nice.
Well, you know what, Coach?
Clean shaven.
We're winning with the ratings. I feel like I had to dress like a champion. I feel like a champion. Underneath it, I have a Hawaiian shirt. I'll rip it off like Superman, but that's fine. A little tie. Even my wife goes, "Where are you going today?" I said, "I'm going downstairs to do a show." She goes, "With a tie?" They go, "People are going to think you're a clown." I said, "Well, they think of it me now. What's the difference?"
Exactly.
I'll fit the bill. I dress like it. I look like it. I'm a clown. So
you look sexy, my friend.
Wow, Coach. Wow, we are now week 12. It's awesome, man. Week 12 is happening. You know, teams are now ending their season. Teams are now practicing basketball. Are they doing it legally, illegally? That's not up to me to say that. But I watch the Instagrams. Let's just say that. But and then guys are still playing their football season and play till they're done. And other people are waiting for Thanksgiving.
Yeah, true.
But you know what? I'm waiting for Thanksgiving too, except I'm waiting for the food.
This will be my first Thanksgiving where I actually don't worry about anything and I can fully enjoy the meal of either being at the acme of emotion of being positive or just like, yep.
It's
I might actually play a round of golf that morning. It's incredible.
It's my favorite holiday, and I wish the holiday happened once a week. I'll tell you that.
Because, well, if it did, we'd have to talk to your cardiologist.
It's amazing. Yeah. That's another story with that. But holidays, man, with Thanksgiving food, I love what do you like? Turkey, potatoes, stuffing, corn. I like all the above. Yeah. Right? That's it. You know, who am I to say?
Thanksgiving's my favorite. It's a football person's dream. You get to be around family and friends. Eat till you want, till you unbutton your belt, and then you get to watch football during the day. I mean, it's a great holiday.
My wife makes fun of me because I do all these intermittent fasting stuff, right? All these fasting. So the other day, I had all this food and I'm eating it. She goes, "What happened to your fasting?" I said, "I'm eating fast. That's what I'm doing." So, yeah. So I went to my cardiologist. He said, "You better watch your weight. You better start watching what you eat." So now I eat in front of a mirror. So I do what he's saying.
You're watching what you eat.
I'm watching what I eat, man. So that's that.
So we're coaches. We take you verbatim what you say.
I like that you laugh at my jokes, but he doesn't laugh at my jokes, and that's that. But
he's a lot smarter than me.
Yeah. So, but there's nothing wrong with cheating and getting your food in and saying the next day I'm going to work out, and then you say the next day I'm going to work out. You keep saying the next day. It never happens, but that's that. If walking to the fridge was a Olympic event, I might get the gold medal. Let's put it that way.
And there's nothing better, at least in my eyes, after you have that meal during the day around 3 o'clock, watch football, but then you make that turkey sandwich at night that's got the stuffing, the turkey, the cranberries. Oh, my God.
Leftovers. That's all I'm going to say. Leftovers.
There's nothing like Thanksgiving leftovers. Yep.
Home field advantage is great with Thanksgiving. You bring all your relatives over. My wife always makes fun of me because I hide some of the food in another room. So when mom and pop go, "Hey, we're done with the turkey," say, "Yeah, we're out, Dad," right? I'm bringing it back at night, man. I'm very good at that. You could pick up a pillow and it'll be underneath the pillow or something like that. But I got my ways, and I love home field advantage with Thanksgiving in the household because you get to eat the food until you pass out.
Yep.
Ain't nothing better. Ain't nothing better. Amen.
Yep.
Amen. Coach, we got a lot to talk about today, but I woke up today and life is full of reminders. You and I were talking before, and I'm going to get a little serious with this. And football is a sport. It's a game that us coaches, us players, we put all our energy into, and the food doesn't taste good when something bad happens, isn't that? But then something happens, and all of a sudden we forget about what's important and what's not. And the most important thing is, your health and all that. And a good friend of mine. So I had one of the assistant coaches at Barnegat came into the room to break the news to me. I didn't know about it, and you know, Coach Drew Gibbs from Ramapo High School, head football coach, legendary guy, was
Legend.
very dear to me
Yep.
as a role model.
Yep.
Drew Gibbs passed away. It's all over the social media.
59 years old.
59 years old of a heart problem. He was on the practice field
Yep.
Monday, dropped, brought him to the hospital, and passed away during the surgery, man. And, my thoughts and prayers from a coach's organization, short conference. And he's hit many, many households other than, more than, I should say, Ramapo. And we're all numb and devastated. With Drew Gibbs passing away. He was preparing for the state championship game, which he was playing on Friday. I just couldn't even think about, his players, his community, his family. I just can't stop thinking about that situation, Coach. I want to talk about one thing with Coach Gibbs. And Coach Gibbs did the null zone offense, null zone offense. And I got really good with Coach, and we would be. It's like a fraternity, a cult, and we would go all the place. Bobby Acosta got me organized with that. I got to meet. I got to meet Noel wherever I go, and Bobby's like, "Hey, come to Widener with me." I would go to Widener, and it really was like a cult of RPO guys, and all you had to do was talk RPO and present stuff and all that, and Coach Gibbs was there, and I've known Coach Gibbs through 7-on-7s at Rutgers. We would play him and just had a lot of, and then the state meetings and all that stuff, and kept in touch. Anytime I had a question of a technique I wanted to do with RPOs, he would get on. He would get on the phone and talk to me when the Google Meet started happening a couple years ago. He would no matter what time it was, he would get on a Google Meet with me and him, and just talk X's and O's, RPOs. I was running clinics. I did it. I did it. Or
Gibbs was part of.
I used to run them, or I would get coaches that would go on and do them. And Coach Gibbs would always go there and bring his fraternity of coaches up in North Jersey on him. And I'm going to tell you, when I heard he passed out, I looked at all his texts. I'm very sentimental. I kept all his text messages, his emails, his huddle stuff he would send me of his clips, and that's all I was thinking about and watching today, Coach. And my thoughts and prayers from the Barnegat football program are out to Coach Gibbs. And I just don't know what to say. It's just tough.
From all of us in the short conference. Obviously, if you put your time in, that we all have, yourself as a coach, Mike, you have significant time coaching. You've met Coach Gibbs. You've gone to clinics. You've been in the rooms with him. Just a special individual. The face of a culture, of a program up at Ramapo, but humble. That's the word I think of right away. The guy is a legend in coaching, but he was a humble individual, and would, like you just talked about with the clinics, would have no problem sitting down to talk to anybody about just the love of the game of football. That's the way I was talking. And when I saw the story and I saw the first post that, that they were asking for prayers, that things weren't going well that Monday night, I said a prayer, that night. And then I turned around and I saw, obviously in the morning today, that, during the surgery, things didn't go well. It's almost like somebody taking a bat and hitting you behind the legs a little bit. And you say, and you realize, and you said it best, you forget how precious things are, and as coaches, we get so caught up into the little things of, in the microcosm of our little sport of football. But you look at the overall picture and you realize it's a game. All this is a game. And the people that you meet throughout our careers and the impacts that we have on each other's lives, it's really a tragedy. But it's also a celebration too. Like you and I are talking a little bit. The man made an impact on a lot of people's lives, and he'll always have a special part of my heart. With the couple times that I was able to sit and talk with him, he was a class guy.
Class guy. He would sit and talk to you if you had a question about
Yep,
anything. Coach,
yep,
he's a winner on and
yep,
off the field. He's a
yeah,
legend. He's a legend on a football field,
yep.
and he's a legend off the football field. And
Amen, amen.
I'm not going to forget about that guy, Coach Gibbs, at all. Just he was very, very big for me
Yep,
for coaching. It really is, and it hit home. I really was numb all day today, and
yeah,
showed a little emotion to some kids in my class. And
yeah.
it's not the type of news I wanted to be told.
No,
And it's never a good time, Coach.
especially around the holidays too with the family. It's just a lot of things.
Coach, speaking about some heavy hearts, you want to talk a little bit about what we were talking about earlier about Red Bank Catholic, too?
Yeah, so this kind of hit home a little bit, really closer home to me this week. My former quarterback at Mater Day, who's now at Red Bank Catholic, Alex Brown, his mother Michelle, who I knew well, lost her battle to breast cancer after battling for the last 15 years, and actually passed away the day before his Friday night game. Um, Obviously, I reached out to Alex as well as everybody that knows him well
Mhm.
to wish the best wishes and know that thoughts and prayers were with him. And I spoke with Alex about him and the maturity level and I mean the calmness over him, knowing
Yeah,
her time was coming. And there's a lot of conversations I had with Alex that'll stay between Alex and I that
yeah,
he knew what the end all was going to end up coming down the road. So, but you never really prepare for ever losing a parent, especially at that age. But to take that type of, you know, real emotional tragedy and fast forward 24 hours and to go onto a football field and
yeah,
succeed and rise above it to have 8 touchdowns in the game, 6 passing and 2 rushing. And you could see every time he took a kneel, he gave
yeah.
himself the cross and pointed up to the sky. And when I tell you, and it's not just for show and it's not
Mm,
just for, media, when he says that he felt his mom's presence,
mm,
I can tell you as a man and as a coach, there's games that she could not, Michelle, come to the game when he played for me, that he would always talk to her before the game.
yeah.
And that was the first phone call after a game to talk to her about the game. That was his biggest fan. And I truly know that. But, again, it's a feel good story to see the success of the game that went on. But then in reality, you got a young gentleman here that lost his mom,
You know, you
that's
know,
never going to see him play football live again.
you know. Us athletes, coaches included, when the world has issues, the world has problems, but when you play those football games for those 40 something minutes, we forget about those problems.
Yep, yep. It becomes your almost sanctuary somewhat for that 48 minutes to kind of tone out the rest of the world and do something, special.
Coach, I had a rule with the kids, my team, through the years. I said, when you come onto the football field, all your problems go away.
Hmm.
And
Yeah,
if you went by Barnegat, you would see guys sometimes on the football field, and I would look and I would drive by, and I knew something was on their mind. But for those
right.
moments, you have to have a place somewhere to kind of escape sometimes the unfortunate bad news that life gives us. And
Yep,
my our prayers from the Shore Football Report to Red Bank Catholics, Alex Brown, his family, his
yep,
friends, of course, the program. Because when you're around, people like that, it affects everybody. It really does.
absolutely. Yep.
And this is why you need sports, I believe, to have a larger family around you.
And he stated that too in
Yeah,
his interview, many interviews, is that
yeah,
the community of football rallied behind him and he was
right.
overwhelmed by the support. We're all competitors against each
Mhm.
other. But when it comes to, again, what you touched on before, life's true problems, that's when the alumni
Yeah,
and you don't. And I'm not putting down other sports, but you don't find it like you do in football. It's
no,
just something different. It's just something different.
a lot more emotion. I
Yep.
actually messaged Alex, and I don't talk with him in his app, but I had to reach out and just let him know how I felt, and
Yep.
and and if he ever needed anything, he can contact me. And this that he was really,
And his brother
yeah,
Marcus, that's a wide receiver at Rumson as well. I mean,
yeah,
And that was and that's when I got emotional because I was at that game and I
Right.
saw Alex and wished him well. And I saw his dad Ray, but then I saw Michelle, and you could obviously see that she was weak, and that was the last football game she could go to. And that's when I saw the picture.
Right.
That's what generated everything back. That that was the last time the family was together on a football field. That's tough.
Coach, the hardest part of a coach is coaching a lot of people when you inherit a lot of other people's, you know, praises and negativity stuff in their lives. And we miss that. We want to be around those kids, but the more
Yeah,
people that you care about, the more of a chance you're going to hear some
yeah,
stories like that. But a lot
yeah.
of people hopefully helped him with some,
Oh,
coping with that, and that's tough.
I
It
think
really is
you're I
tough.
think you're absolutely right on that, Coach. 100%.
I mean, really, really, that bothers. It just might. If he ever needs anything, we're there for him and all that stuff, and that's that. So,
But on a positive, let's
yeah.
talk about a positive here, bud. Let's talk about a birthday. A
Oh
happy
yeah.
birthday coming up to a young gentleman that might be sitting across from me right now, talking about somebody's birthday coming up. Let's go about
I'm
talk
not
about a positive.
excited. My two young girls were talking about no birthday kisses I'm getting. I just turned 51, which would I say I'm 30 years old with 21 years experience. Sounds a little better, right? They were talking about punches, and they're getting a little
Punches.
older. So yeah, they're about hitting daddy, not kissing daddy. Uh, I might be black and blue the next day because I don't care what you do, but 51 times something's going to break on my
Something's
body.
going to start hurting.
So yeah, she usually has an iPad in her hand. So I'm hoping I don't get hit with that. But yeah, I mean, yeah, my birthday will be on Wednesday, so it's fun, for everybody with that. But coach, there were a couple things that happened this week. I just want to say this: a couple things that happened in the newspaper with two
Sure.
programs during this week that I don't feel very comfortable talking about because I don't know everything about it,
Correct.
and I want to keep everything positive and keep everything on the field
On the
talking with
field.
that. So we don't need to really talk about what everybody else was reading all that with that. So yeah, let's just keep everything positive and hope everything is going to be okay with the two programs that had stuff in the paper with that.
Yep.
And let's move on with that. Are you good with that?
I absolutely agree.
Right.
We tag our show as a coach's view from the
Yeah.
sideline.
Yeah.
We're talking about what happens on the field.
Yeah, with that. Now, let's talk about a couple things. We have a senior guys. Everybody who's finishing the season, I know you're going to start going into basketball and you're going to start going into the weight room, and maybe you might not watch as many videos or this and that because they're not playing football right now. But here's what we're going to do: we got a lot of stuff happening with football. If you want to expand yourself with football, or see if you are recognized for a lot of the All Star teams, this is what we're going to do. The Shore Football Report is going to be at the Senior Showcase 12/11, so December 11th in
Mm-hmm.
Manalapan. I'm going to post again all the information, and we got a senior showcase with college coaches from D2, D3, and JUCO going to be
Mm-hmm.
there,
Mm-hmm.
and kids are going to be able to perform in front of them. I'll talk more about that the next week, but I'm going to give all the information on my site tomorrow with that. Again, all-star teams guys, when you're done, we listen right now. The Shore Football Report is organizing, okay, a list, and we're going to meet with our staff, the Shore Football Report, and we're going to pick an all division team, first and second. We're gonna do players of the year for offense, defense, special teams, and for a sophomore freshman um, player of the year. And I want to get them on our show, and I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
talk to those guys. And coach, what I'm going to do is have an all division. Um, just each division is going to have their own show. So I'm going to have what is there, eight of them, eight
Yeah.
different things because I really want to expand it and talk about different things and have videos and have fun with that. We're going to do an all county, Ocean and Monmouth County, first, second, third team. We're going to do an all shore, 5 teams, first, second, third, fourth, fifth. Why stop at
Which
three?
I think is awesome.
We're going to get more names on there. We're going to get more names on there.
Yep.
We're going to do an all underclassmen team looking into the future. I'm going to give it a name too, but it's going to be all juniors, sophomores, and freshmen. Take a peek of who are the top players coming into next season. Right now, we all know that they can get better in the offseason with that.
Absolutely.
Now, Coach, there are two positions that get neglected on all-star meetings. You and I have been in the meetings. I have said it. Okay?
Yep.
Two positions, but yet those two positions are probably the most important and nerve-wracking times. Everybody wants to play power football. Everybody likes a fullback. Everybody likes to hand in the dirt, and they likes when the guys blow people up. And that tailback likes to prance around the big lineman and get inside the hip of the fullback and run for a touchdown. And then the running back will say, I couldn't have did it without my lineman. And then that one guy always gets forget because a fullback is basically a guard just with a different number, right?
Exactly right.
Right.
Exactly.
Well, the Shore Football Report is going to have a fullback in their all-star teams, Coach.
Yep.
Yep. The other thing is this: when you're in special teams, everybody sweats out the snap. Boom, on punt. Great. Well, we're going to have a long snapper on the special on the all-star teams too. Long snappers and a fullback will be included in our all-star packages because it's important. It is very important. Awesome. And if you don't think it is, did you ever go to a game where you lost a game because maybe the snap went over the guy's head, or a team doesn't punt because they don't have a snapper and it changes the whole complexion of the game? Or they don't have a fullback that's blocking. It's just, Coach, we're going to have a fullback and a long snapper in our all-star teams because they deserve it too. And they're unsung heroes, those guys. Unsung.
And look how many, you could look at how many college programs where kids can walk on as a long snapper and get given a scholarship because that's so much of a special attribute. If you could be a great long snapper, you have a great future ahead of you. I'm telling you.
It's amazing. I want to get the names out of people that long snap and are fullback so people know those guys just as much as the quarterbacks that we talk about or the running backs.
I agree.
Right? If you don't think a fullback's important, I want you to run two-back power without a fullback.
Run power, exactly.
Without a fullback.
Yeah. It's not happening.
You ain't doing it. You ain't doing it. So we're going to get those guys' names out there, Coach.
Yeah. And everybody still runs. I don't care how much we run spread, what we've evolved to now. Everybody still runs power.
Coach, there's some pretty good fullbacks out there. I can't wait to talk about them too. Yep. There's going to be a lot of competition for that and the long snapping. I got a lot of people sending me videos as we speak for long snapping with that. But that's great. And again, that's another way of getting to college if you can long snap as an additional position, right?
1,000%.
Great.
1,000%.
Yeah, cool. All right. So
good stuff.
Yeah, it's real good. We're gonna recap last week's games, some good games, and 3 consolation round games or a crossover, whatever you want to call it. It's consolation games. We'll call it for right now. We'll do the short conference top 20, and guess what? We have a new number 1 team.
Yeah.
Yes, we do. Yes, there was a lot of movement. It was almost like you dropped the puzzle and the pieces went all over the place, and you put it together. And went, holy smokes! Major jumps.
Yep.
Major jumps.
Yep.
We have a special guest today. I don't know if you ever heard of him. Rumson. Rumson's got a varsity program. I don't know if you know this. Yeah. Coach Schulte.
Yeah.
And he likes to play defense over there.
My coach, my freshman year. Yep.
Coach, 71-0 they are in the 2 state playoff games. How many first downs do you think they've given up in the playoffs?
Go ahead. I'm going to say
0. 0.
How many times have you and I, as many years you put together as coaches, we've heard the tagline, offense wins games, defense wins championships.
Yeah. So we're going to have him on. He's excited to go on. It's great. And he doesn't go on a lot of shows. So this is going to be good.
No, he doesn't.
It's going to be good. It's going to be good. So grab some popcorn. It's going to be a good one with that. We'll break down next week's games. And that's that. I'm going to end it, though, with this. You were waiting for when I was going to talk about it. I'm going to tell you right now. weekly
it's
picks.
coming. I mean,
You
I
know
know
it's
it's
coming.
coming.
You know, everybody's got their stopwatch waiting for me to do it. I was 9-2.
There we go.
9-2, coach. Those 2 games are killing me, man. Germano was 10-1 though. He knew something that we didn't know. I got to find out from him because he came out of the woodwork. But we did real well as a collective group. You were 8-3 as long as Derek was too, and Logan Germano somehow came out and went 10-1. If he did that in the beginning, he would be a little different in the rankings. I'm first at 165-46. You're 151-60, tied with Germano at 151-60, and Derek's second with 156-55. Coach, overall, that's pretty decent that we're doing.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Thank God we're not doing point spreads though. Can you imagine that?
We want to keep it legal.
Yeah, we'll have bookies. Then I'll really be wearing a tie the whole time. Good. Excellent. Then my phone calls are my bookies. If I don't have a bookie, no, I don't.
There's enough media stuff going around with the shortcut. We don't need to bring that in right
now. Yeah, I don't think that's good with that. But all right, so we'll end it, Coach. We're going to talk a little bit of a recap of last week. Are you ready?
Sir. Yes, sir.
Let's get going. I'm excited. All right, Coach, we're going to recap last week's games. Three consolation football games, and then those semifinal round games that put guys into the state finals or just barely, lost with that. So let's talk with the constellation games first. Marlboro is 7-3, first winning season since 1999. 13-10. They beat a good Middletown North team, and Nolan Jones, the junior, had 13 tackles. AJ Schwartz had another big day. Of course, Zach Mendez is a dude; he's out there and all that. Matt Cassidy, Ryan Mendez, but Coach Jason Delgado got his troops to a 7-3 record. Again, first winning season since 1999. That's a lot of years, Coach.
I agree, and it shows.
Surprising
it's
too.
It's a tribute to Coach Delgado after undefeated going into Central, and then losing a tough game there, then another loss down the road.
Yeah.
But those kids kept playing hard for him, and to go out there last Friday, and play a tough, like you just stated, a tough Middletown North team state qualifier to be able to go in there and come away for those kids bought in all year. Congratulations to them. That's a great, successful season for the Mustangs.
Congratulations to Coach Delgado and those Mustang football players for having a very, very productive, successful season. Yep, good job there. So there's a lot of excitement there leading into the offseason. You know who's still playing and is getting better and quietly getting better? The Neptune Flyers.
The Scarlet Flyers.
Is it Scarlet Flyers?
Scarlet Flyers.
The Neptune Scarlet Flyers. Yeah, wow. Yeah. So, Coach Duffy's first year at Neptune. He started late. Started late a little bit, and then got the troops. They're 4-4. I can't say how good they're doing in our top 20 because I might be telling you they might be in it. Oh shoot, did I say that? But they're 4-4 right now, Coach. They beat a Brick Memorial team, and Devin Kraft, the running back, the sophomore running back, 140 yards on 22 carries. I love Davion Pearson, 129 yards and 3 touchdown passes. And Neptune Scarlet Flyers are 4-4 and playing Asbury Park in the Thanksgiving Day game. If you told me they were going to be 5-4 in the beginning of the season, I wouldn't. No. Credit to Coach Duffy and the players.
I'll give you credit where you said when the season was starting to progress, don't sleep on Neptune. The more games they play, the better they're going to get.
Yeah.
But to add on what we're saying, Coach Duffy gets hired late. They get hit with a bout of COVID during August, workouts when we start going to the double sessions. So they got delayed a week. So coaches can't meet with them on the field. There's a new environment, new coaching staff. Then you start to see the progression of what's going on. I was able to see them play live against Monmouth. And I told you, I said, this is a scary team. They can play defense really well with Coach Pugh, who I know so well. And then what Coach Duffy's got going on with the offensive game plan. And now here you go against a rise up to a brick Memorial team, led by Connor Dietz. I mean, that's a big signature win for Neptune right there.
That's a huge win, and they're still playing. So I'm excited if they get to 5-4. Asbury Park's very good.
That's a huge. I agree with you. I wouldn't have seen them being 5-4 at the beginning of the year either.
I'm going to tell you this:
a great job.
It's one of the quiet success stories of the Shore Conference. One of the quiet, along with Marlboro too. So there's some good things. I want to shout out to Connor Dietz, that outstanding sophomore, broke the 1,000 yards in passing and rushing. He had 1368 rushing, 1010 passing, school record 130 points. Coach Curry's got a toy for the next couple of years.
You'll absolutely see him on our list at the end of the season, without a doubt.
He's going to be on there. He's going to be on there. Yeah. So they beat him 28-26. Yep. Good game. These games are like bowl games, and that's that. And then St. John Vianney won to raise the record of 4-7, 40-28 in a shootout. Beat Howell, who's been playing teams tough. They lost 6 games by 5 points or less.
Yep.
They got some athletes, Howell. They really, really do. St. John Vianney won. I think that was at Vianney too, the game. So Coach Albuquerque, he's got those guys getting with a win going into the offseason to regroup and come out firing for the 2022 season. St. John Vianney wins 40-28 versus Howell. Good.
Yep.
Coach, are you ready for the state playoffs?
Best time of year right here.
Yeah. Well, not for the Jets, but they wouldn't even know what a state playoff is. They'd be like, what?
I'm actually, this will be the first Jet game I'll be at this weekend. They're playing. My boys are coming up from down south. Miami's at the Jets this week, so I'll be able to see a lot of my friends coaching with the Dolphins. I'm going to go to the game on Sunday. So
the Jets have a quarterback controversy. The controversy is they don't have a quarterback.
They don't have a quarterback, right? Exactly.
Yeah. So it's frustrating, man. I mean, bring back Joe Namath, Jesus. All right, non-public B quarterfinals. Now they're always They're 1 week behind.
They're 1 week behind, correct?
Yeah. Red Bank Catholic beat Morris Catholic 58-34 to advance to the semifinals, which they're going to play St. Joe's Hamilton.
Yep.
And we talked about it earlier. You brought it up. Alex Brown with his just inspirational performance that was touched by ESPN. Tom Brady.
Tom Brady.
Tom Brady's reaching out to him. Here I am. Alex Brown's got a blue check, I think, on his Twitter now. Right? Jesus.
Yep.
8 touchdowns he was responsible for. Played a Morris Catholic team that moved the ball on Red Bank Catholic.
They did.
When I read he got 8 touchdowns, I go, oh man, they gave him the ball every time. No, he threw 6 touchdown passes.
Yep.
And ran for only 2.
And needed all those points because Morris Catholic was in this game.
That was very impressive game. Here's a kid, a sophomore, Emmanuel Ross, the wide receiver, outstanding. Coach, 4 catches, 112 yards, 3 touchdowns in a state quarterfinal game. That kid is starting to elevate his game when they really need him. They're going to need him in St. Joe's Hamilton because Brown is going to have to spread this ball out to a Hamilton. I think they have enough, though, to wear them out. I just think they do. I think this is the year for Red Bank Catholic. I want to see them so bad get to the finals. I really do. They had a great season so far. This game right here stamps their where they deserve to be in the state semis, right?
Yeah, it's going to be no secret this week, Friday night, when St. Joe's, that's a long travel for them to have to come up to Red Bank on Friday night. But they're going to have to, Coach Sacco's been there since football's been created, for crying out loud. I've coached so many games against them. They're going to have to stop the wing tee. They're not changed. There's no secret on what they do. But everybody's anxious to see. They get past the St. Joe's game. It looks like it's a collision course with Red Bank Catholic against the fall.
Against the fall, yeah.
Yep. So
my buddy, he's now the athletic director, Johnny McKenna.
Johnny McKenna, great man.
He was if you're saying he's a great man, you don't know him.
I know him. He's a great guy. Coach McKenna's a good man.
He's funny, man. He was my college teammate, good friend.
Oh, I didn't know that. Really?
Yeah, I don't think he knows it either. But he is so funny, man. But
Yep.
yeah, he's now going to be a successful AD. Campanelli's now the head coach of the
Campanelli's
ball.
taking over his OC. Yep.
Yeah, so it was a nice transition he did.
Yep.
So good for that, Coach. Here's one success story: was Tom Driver North
Unbelievable.
was 0-4.
Yep.
Donovan had the forfeit, turned to 1-3.
Yep.
And now they're 7-3 and playing some inspirational ball, led by
Young.
Seriously, I mean, does he have to get permission slips to go on away games because he's so young and youthful?
Yeah.
Like, does he have to bring them back at a certain time for curfew? They're that young.
Coach Oz is going to be feeling real good about the future.
He's got a bunch of young minors on that team. He really do, but they're good.
Yep.
Holy smokes. Do I wouldn't want to play them. Everybody goes, I wouldn't want to play them next year. I'm going to change that. I wouldn't want to play them in the finals this year. They're good now, Coach. Let's talk about what Oz has. He's got Micaiah Ford, a quarterback that's a running back looking dude. I mean, this kid's put together, and he is putting up some numbers. Have 173 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns, 113 passing, 2 touchdowns. Dynamic, and he's got this kid Moore, another sophomore running back that is outstanding, and Tariq Council. Oh my God. Catches the football, 2 catches, 113, 2 touchdowns, an interception, 35-yard interception. He's a sophomore. And then this kid, Jeremiah Pruitt had a touchdown run and a fumble return touchdown. All these sophomores, I get it. You're good. Jesus. I can't go. They really
against an Edison team
that beat Manalapan
team the week before.
Oh, Coach, I didn't think going into the game. Now, Edison was a 7 seed. You know it. You use a lot of energy to beat to win a game in the playoffs with beating a higher level,
higher seed. I agree. Yep.
And going into the next round, I think it's hard to charge back up to that.
Yep, I agree with that.
It's just hard. I think this was an easier game to pick because of that. Tom Driver North has some athletes on. They're going to be scary. The other side of the bracket, Kingsway is the 4 seed, and you wouldn't expect them because the 1 seed lost. Lenape beat him on a field goal. The game started with 4 times they kicked the ball out of bounds. 4. He kept kicking it out of bounds, and they kicked the ball eventually at the 20-yard line. It was just, I get it. Just, can we start the game? But when they did start it, it was a blowout. It really was. But yet it was 14-7 at half. That's how explosive Tom Driver North is. And I didn't like that there wasn't a lot of people at the game, though. I was there. How do I know? I was there. A lot of people aren't going to these games. I don't get it. Maybe because they're not close, Edison and North, and I don't know. Maybe because there's TV. People are covering it on TV. I don't.
It could have been the weather because of Friday night. They were worried about the weather. You never know.
Well, whatever. But it was a lot of excitement in the stands. You know who was there. Yeah. But credit to Coach Oz and advancing to the finals. And we'll talk.
7-3 though. 7-3.
We'll talk more about that later.
Another good success story.
We'll talk more about that later. But there's, congrats to those guys advancing.
Yep.
Coach Antonucci, another short team advancing to the finals. North Jersey 2. Sounds a little weird. North 2-4. Beat Sayreville 17-8. How about Jake Kezawakio, the kicker? 3 field goals. Sophomore, 3 field goals in the state semis. Incredible. And how about this sophomore linebacker? Colin Gallagher. It's getting to the point where we get it. He's good. 12 tackles, 1 sack, 1 tackle for loss. Antonucci's got some boys over there. They also have another running back, a sophomore, Donovan Summey. Had another big game, touchdown run. Dan Primiano, 152 yards. It's great senior leadership with him running the football. I love Jake Williamson.
Yeah, I've been lauding him
You
since
have.
the season started. He's a special player on both sides of the
Yeah,
ball.
you liked him on offense, but on defense,
Yep.
he had an excellent game.
Yep.
Stopping
Yep.
Sayreville to 173
Yep.
yards. They had a big time running back that had around 1,400 yards coming to game. He only had 77.
Yep.
I don't know if people know it, but Middletown South is pretty good defensively. What do I know? But Huddle shows it.
Now they got to travel all the way up to exit 144 Friday night up to Irvington.
Irvington. Well, yeah, anybody can win that game, and Coach Antonucci has been there, done it with his program, and excited for another one, Coach. We'll talk more about that, but congratulations to the Eagles for advancing. Ocean City played Long Branch in South Jersey Group 4. The Danny George Tour ended in the state playoffs here. They still got one more game, though.
They still got the Thanksgiving Day game, right?
They do. But Danny George made a valiant run, in the state playoffs. Just hit an Ocean City team that's really good.
Really good.
Really good.
Really good defensive team, yeah.
Really good. Long Branch played inspirational ball all year, and hats off to those guys. And Coach George is going to look at this run and be very, very satisfied
Very
that
proud of it.
they gave it good. Christian Rodriguez, Shamir Williams, Camus, all those guys, Farmer, they just gave a great run. And let's just hope they ended on a positive way on their end for Coach.
Was it Red? I think they get Red Bank Regional on Thanksgiving Day, right? Yep.
I don't know if it's home or away, but wherever they go, they're going to make it home. Let's put it that way. You know what I'm saying? And Rumson, we're going to have Coach Schulte on our show. And defensively, 0 first downs, 71-0. They beat the first 2 games in the state. Again, they're beating state playoff teams like this. The Burlington Township had -6 yards rushing, 26 yards pass, 20 yards total. Rumson won 34-0 against Burlington Township. And Rumson's got this way where offensively they definitely they're definitely a good fit for the defense. They lull you to sleep. They do all these things. They don't run this spread offense, stopping the clock.
They control the clock. They control the ball.
Control the ball, pound you, and all of a sudden you look at the stats and you say, like, their quarterback had another 119 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, 126 yards passing, 1 touchdown.
Rushing.
Rushing. Quietly, he gets 230 yards total offense. Quietly, Coach.
Right, I was going to say, because I've seen it a lot. It just adds up throughout a game. It's not just a big breakaway 77-yard run. It just adds and adds and adds and adds. You're right.
Rumson has guys that play defense, guys that only play offense, and they have the kicker, Justin Warble, who had 2 field goals. They have all the ingredients to win a championship. They're going to play a tough one, though, this week, Coach. I'm going to be there. Do. I might wave to you if I see you in the crowd.
I'm going to be standing right on your hip next to you.
Yeah. Are you going to be on the sidelines or do you go to the stands?
You listen. You can come and get a little rub off of me. You're going to be on the sideline with me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't like sidelines.
Well, you're not allowed to call plays.
Yeah. Well. Yeah.
I'm going to try to get you away from your father.
Coach, no. Now I'm going to be going with Coach Versillo.
Come on. That's a trifecta if there ever was one.
Coach Versillo will be sitting with me, and we'll be watching Rumson play against Woodrow Wilson, and that is a game I can't wait to talk about later and hear Coach talk about
it.
So congratulations to Rumson again. Go get that title. Or how about Raritan, Central Jersey 2 played Hillside 41-34.
What a shootout! Yep.
But that's been their season. They're like playing back and forth, and trying to outscore teams, and they are excellent. Kieran Falzon, 103 yards, 3 touchdowns, 23 carries. Joe Campanella, 83 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns. Had a touchdown run of 14 yards with 56 seconds left in the game to win a game. It was incredible. It really was incredible. We were up 21-0 in this game and had to battle it out at the end. You know, in the playoffs, anything can happen. Anything can happen. So
And I love what Coach Petruzzi said in his post game, saying he made it a point to tell the rest of the team, this team is not going to back down. Be ready to stay in the game right now. And sure enough, he was right. Because again, he knows what he's doing. He's been there long enough.
he's
He can
usually
scout.
right.
He knows what teams do well. And sure enough, Hillside came back. But those kids, I'm telling you, it was a great point that you brought up last week. It's such a mirror to that 2015 team, on this run that they're on right now. Congratulations to the Rockets.
Scary game at the end. They held on to win the game. Credit to them. Backs were to the wall. It was tied up. And then they scored with 56 seconds left. And now they're playing a Haddonfield team that's been there, done it. And Rarity wants to get back and get another championship that Coach Petrus had a couple years ago. So
at home in Hazlitt. Yep, at home.
It's going to be happening there. So good luck to them. Another short team in the finals with that. How about South Jersey Group 2? Point Borough is having a great season. 28-7, beat a New Providence team. They had a running back that came in with over 5,000 career yards rushing and held him to, I believe, what was the yardage he had? Not a lot. How's that? All right. That's that. But Jake Croce, 122 yards and a touchdown on 15 carries. And Charlie Vitale's got that option going on, that triple option, moving 83 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns, 12 carries. Coach, he doesn't have major stats, but everybody else does because he's facilitating the football, and he's doing a great job.
And the scary thing, too, Coach, we talked about the Mariners before with Oz, how young he is going forward. Point Burrow's in the same spot.
Yeah, they are.
You're talking about Croce, who's a sophomore. You're talking about Salento, who's a junior. Oliphant, who's a sophomore. All those kids now they're playing for a state championship. They got that championship.
Don't forget about Boom Davidson.
Boom?
Yeah, Boom. Boom, he's a sophomore.
Boom, baby.
Yeah.
Up front.
Coach, they got it. They got a lineman, Skinner. They got a guy, Skinner, who's 6'5", around 300 pounds. Junior. I think again, let's not.
Got to be feeling. He's feeling just like Oz. Staub is feeling real good about.
I like Bennett. I like Reynolds on defense. I like Ward and Samarianto. They got
juniors.
Yeah, they're all
juniors.
I know juniors. I get it. They're gonna be good. They're gonna be good. I'm real happy for Coach Staub. Great guy.
Yep.
Young guy too. Getting in there to the finals. Playing Willingboro. 28-7. Willingboro advances to the South Jersey Group 2 semifinal. I get confused with who's Central South.
Yep.
Group 1, the Jamie Mazzocco run ended 24-19. They were up 12-0.
They were up.
They were up 12-0, but you know what? That's a good football team. Here's what Woodstown did. They loaded the box and stopped the run. Jamie Mazzocco had to pass the ball. He passed for 153, 2 touchdowns, but they scored late in the game, Woodstown, to take the lead. And when I saw that on Twitter, oh, my God, I was so annoyed because I really wanted to see him get that into the final. But they had a great, great run. They really did. Finished, well, they're 7-3 to play Manasquan and Thanksgiving. The season's a success, a real success.
Absolutely. And Kaz said it last week on our show. He's young, or 2 weeks ago. He knows he's young too. So
Kaz won a couple toss-up games, close games. He went for 2-point conversion against Asbury and won it. Barnegat was a 7-point game right there. Coach, that's 2 games that could have flipped. And your record, I mean, credit to him. Credit to him. They battled tough. Kaz loves his team. You know that. He does every year. This team right here, I think, was a little close to him right now because he knew that the chips were behind him, against him, and they had a very good season with that. So credit to Coach Kaz and his staff for getting as much as he could with this short team. Really,
I agree.
Non-public A quarterfinal game that was played 2 days.
Unbelievable! Like what went on with these 2 days here. This, I think Coach Curcione said in his 20-something years of coaching, he's never experienced what went on for the last 2 days. So,
I mean, when you got to commute to what number is this in the Parkway?
So Donovan Catholic is what, exit 82?
Yeah.
And then you got to go all the way up to exit 156, 157,
Yeah.
I think it is.
Yeah.
That's you're talking an hour and a half to an hour and 45-minute commute.
For those of you who don't know what we're talking about, there was a storm that happened. And people were asking, well, why did they have to go back? Well, they don't have lights.
Correct.
And when you have lightning, you have to stay off the field for 30 minutes.
30 minutes. Yep.
So when you're in a lightning storm, you have to, once the one lightning happens, you have to wait 30 minutes.
30 minutes. Yep.
And we're not talking rain, we're talking lightning. So if somebody saw it from a distance, 30 minutes, and the clock starts over.
Correct.
So you could actually get to the last 2 minutes, say 2 minutes were out, a lightning bolt happens, start the clock back to 30 minutes. You can't shortchange that. And that's what happened. So eventually they said, we're going to make the game come back.
Then you're dealing with the daylight now that we fast with the clocks fell back. So by 4:30, 4:45, it starts getting dark. Yep.
Here's what people don't realize too. It was 14-7 at half. They went home. For those of you guys who never played football, the next day after you hit, you get very tight. You get very sore.
All the lactic acids start building up in your body.
Yep.
You know that. We all know. Yep.
So I was very curious to see what kids could adapt to that a little more than the others. Mm-hmm. The other thing was, you just played a half. It's on film. I'm a coach. I'm looking at that film and breaking down what all night long, and it could be an advantage. Now, I thought it was an advantage for Donovan to play Bergen Catholic the next day. And the reason why
I agree with you.
The reason why was Bergen Catholic plays one side of the ball, Donovan Catholic plays both sides. Yep. They go fast, and they would wear Donovan out.
They wouldn't get worn down. I agreed with that point.
And at halftime, you only had to sweat out a half. You can do it. And I did message Coach Sergione for that, and I guess I was wrong. Because the second half came, and Bergen Catholic took it to him. But the one thing I will say this about Donovan Catholic, they didn't give up major big plays. They were the number 6 team in the country, 6 in the country. Donovan Catholic showed that they could play with them. They just didn't win on the scoreboard. Right. Kyrie Drake had a real nice 52-yard.
One of my former was so happy for him to succeed on a big stage like that. Yep.
52-yard throw right over the middle, split the safety. Jalen Butler ran hard. He looks. Yep. He's a good-looking athlete. He really is. Nunez Bukala ran for 89 yards against the number 6 ranked team in the country. Ran tough. Donovan got some first downs that kind of allowed them to control the ball a little bit more, and thank God, because it could have been worse if they didn't get first down. So they played hard. They competed. It's just a different ball game up there.
I've seen it firsthand where I thought I had a really, really good team, and then went up there and had a game scrimmage, and then it hit you in the face really quick. There's just a little bit of a higher level. There really is, But kudos. Listen, great year for Donovan.
Yeah.
Including going through what they went through in the beginning of the year, having 3 games taken away from them. Those kids never quit on the coaching staff. They stayed together as a program.
Yeah.
And for one half, like you said, they hung with the number 6 team ranked in the country.
They did. They did. I mean, I'm watching the game. Usually, if you play a team like that, it's usually a long run, a long play.
Forget it. Bergen Catholic had a drive. They had a drive.
Well, the first series, Bergen Catholic threw a ball into the corner, and the kid caught the ball and then dropped it, and he was out of bounds.
Yeah, I saw it. Yep.
And they gave it to him. I mean, a little homer call. Call a spade, right? How can you say that? How could I say that? How could I say that? You got the call. He dropped the ball. He was out of bounds. All the above, and they gave him the catch at the 1-yard line. Yep. He doesn't catch that. They don't score. Yep. It's not 14-7 at half. It's 7-7.
Yeah.
But Donovan Catholic showed that they you got to get to that. That's the level Coach Dan wants to get to, and that's the first step.
And trust me from experience, it's good for self-evaluation of your program. Where do you want to go?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, now you've seen it, and this is where I need to go. This is what we have to change. Yep.
Yep. So they played the best, and they were able to to see where they stood, and I honestly think that they competed with them. They competed with them.
Yep.
Just the score was a little different. To me, I thought the score was a little different than how the game was. I thought it was, Donovan was able to stop them on a couple things and this and that, and but that shows that how good Bergen Catholic is. They kind of lulled you to sleep, and they scored 21 points in the second half, and that's that, Coach. And I'm no fool. I love covering football, but when the game is on, um, wait. When you have a million things, my wife just sent me a message, and she needed an answer right now. She doesn't realize we're going
What
live.
did she say? Take that tie off?
No, it's about Facebook and whatever. But what was I just talking about?
You're no fool.
Oh, I watched the game on my couch.
Right.
I had people saying, "You want to drive up to Bergen Catholic?" I'm like,
no.
I want to watch it on TV, and I watched it on the computer.
Yeah.
I loved it. So, I was one of those lazy people too on a Saturday, but that's what I did. So, all right, great season for Donovan Catholic. And we'll talk more about them in our next segments of stuff, Coach. We really will. And they have a lot of players that are going to be on the All-Star team. You know that. Central Jersey, Group 4 semifinal, Colts Neck met its match versus a Winslow Township team, 41-14. Coach Ahern took these troops as far as he could. They worked hard. They were in the trenches. Is it safe to say that Winslow Township just has some athletes on the perimeter?
Very safe to say.
Colts Neck is in the box. They want to fight you in a phone booth.
In a phone booth, yep.
Winslow's got dudes on the perimeter, and they came out with a 41-14 win. I love the kid Scully, the running back that really came out as a sophomore. Tommy Fallon was injured. He came back.
I was just gonna say,
I'm sure when they have their banquets and all that, they're gonna get all their awards, those type of things. Tommy Fallon's a good leader. Volpe, the lineman, big, strong dude. Whalen. Just again, when you hear of a football team doing good and you say, like, who are the skill, because I'm not sure, and they're winning, that means their line's good. Their line's good, Coach.
Especially when you know what they're going to be running and they do it anyway.
They're good. And a lot of those linemen, the guys in the trenches, Anthony Bonanno, the John Manos, those linebackers, they're going to be on the All-Star teams. I mean, I don't think that's a
very
secret.
Successful season for the Cougars, for Colts Neck. Again, like you touched on briefly, battling the injury bug that they had, and that schedule that they had to play in that division this year every week. It's a very successful season for Colts Neck.
Yeah, it was. It was nothing to be ashamed about
with
them. Good job, and you got to win. Listen, you're in the playoffs. Everybody is going to end the season on a loss except for the winner.
That's right.
So, that's what we signed up for, guys. That's what happens. How about Manasquan playing Woodrow Wilson in Group 3, Central Jersey? Woodrow Wilson had close to, I think they had like 570 yards offense. Woodrow Wilson can throw, run. Manasquan's a good football team, and they kind of they kind of took it to them. They weren't able to do anything offensively. Manasquan. Woodrow Wilson's physical
and athletic.
Yeah. Brett Patton threw a 10-yard touchdown pass to Cole Kozlowski. That was the only thing they really could muster. They really couldn't move the football at all. And Woodrow Wilson controlled the football, the game, with their athletic kids on the perimeter and big, strong kids up front. That's going to be a scary game against Rumson. Something's got to give. So Manasquan had a great season, but they have one more game. They're playing Shore Regional for that. Coach, you ready for this?
What do we do, bud?
This is what I think of last week's playoffs.
Now, I have to ask you. We've done this every week. People text all the time. They love how you rip it up. So, who picks up the papers when you're done?
My wife. My wife, because she watches the segment when I do it. She goes downstairs, she cleans it up. That's what we do. That's what we
That's
do.
great. That's great.
That's what we do. All right, we good,
We're good, pal.
Coach? We're gonna do. We're gonna go to Coach Schulte right now and do the top 20 and the other stuff after him. How's that? All right.
Sounds good.
Let's talk some Rumson football. Okay, now we have our special guest, the Rumson head football coach, Coach Jerry Schulte, who is in the Central Jersey Group 3 state championship. Again, Coach, thank you for coming on our show during this busy week. Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Coach Hoadley, you got anything to say?
Coach Schulte's near and dear to me. I mean, my freshman year at Mater Dei, that was my coach right there until he went off to go to Wall Township. I mean,
Yeah.
and I mean the legendary career he's put together. I every time I end up seeing him, he'll tell you. I always say, "I love you, Coach," and he'll say, "I love you back." I mean, that's the type of man that Coach Schulte is. I mean, I can't say enough about him. You know, not to get emotional, but he's a true man among men around coaches. He's one of the true great guys of the Shore Conference.
Coach, I had to get ratings up, so we had to get you on our show. I told some people you were on, and people were pumped hearing that you're on the show. So we got to get our ratings up, having one of the top teams not only in the Shore but in the state. Coach, remarkable career that you've had at you coached other places, but at Rumson. Let's just talk Rumson. This is your 6th year. You've been to the state finals 5 years, and the only time you never have was the COVID season. That's a remarkable run for what you're doing at Rumson. It really is. Is there a special ingredient that I know you talked about having an offense and defensive unit practice separately. You have an outstanding coaching staff that you talked about over the summer. But is there anything different that you did in other places that you're doing now? What is the difference?
Well, yeah, at Rumson, we kind of have, I guess, what you would call a perfect storm, but in a positive way. We just have everything come together. The outstanding young men we get to play for us, the coaching staff, the school, the community support, the support groups that we have. Everything seems to come together for us. And it's not any one thing that makes us or puts us where we're at. It's all these things combined, and we're just fortunate that they happen on a regular basis.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing the strength program that you do. I know you talked about in the summer your nutrition that you're also doing. I mean, while you were talking about that, I was eating Doritos. I mean, like, Coach, I mean, it's amazing what you guys are able to do with a bunch of guys in your program. I think that when you talk about Rumson, Coach Hoadley, their numbers, how many players they have from sideline to sideline, and it's incredible. And they're only a group 3.
I mean, I can really touch on it because I've seen it firsthand. I've been honored where Coach Schulte will let me come down and watch some of their practices. If you really want to take a high school practice and get an idea of what a college practice looks like, that's how Rumson runs their practices. From having the scoreboard up there, timing each one of the individual sessions of defense or offense. The horn goes off. If you didn't get your reps in the way you need to do, it's time to move on to the next rep, like you would do in college. To see what their weight program goes on there, that it's all integrated, how things go. And you got 4 former head coaches on the staff. I mean, not Coach Schulte's a legend himself, but you got 4 former head coaches on there.
Yeah.
His son, who's a dear friend of mine, who's the defense coordinator. I mean, again, when he talks about a perfect storm, that's really kind of what is understood there in a positive way. I mean, Coach Gagliano, who's with him on the freshman staff, has been with him for years at Rumson Fair. It's the continuity that goes on year in after year out. And then you get the student athlete at Rumson Fairhaven that is so smart because their academics are so well thought out at Rumson that they can take so many schemes and apply that into the game. I mean, it's great. But when you walk out there and you see 88 bodies in a purple and white uniform, and you see one side of the field offense, one side of the field defense doing their things, and they come in, it's really impressive to watch.
Coach, one question though: when you're split offense and defense, I did ask you this over the summer. Do you ever get any coaches going, we need you more on this side, or coaches saying, go on that side during practice? When you're doing your individuals and all that on both sides, do you split your time up?
Yeah, they pretty much tell me to go to the other side.
Good answer. Good
I
answer.
mean, it's not a secret. I'm a defensive guy,
Yes, you are.
but
Yes, you are.
I do spend time with the offense, and like you guys said, I mean, I have excellent coaches. I don't have to get involved in much of anything with these guys. They all know what they're doing, and that's the advice I ever got. Again, we talked about it in the summer. Was when I took over. Was hire the best people you can find and leave them alone. Don't micromanage them, and that's been one of the keys to our success. I just stay out of their way.
Yeah, I agree with that. I've seen it firsthand. Coach manages the practice. He watches what goes on like a true head coach, puts his tidbit in what he thinks needs to be done, lets his coaches do what they have to do, because no assistant coach wants to be micromanaged. We all know that as head coach, former head coaches, and head coaches. Let your assistant coaches do their job, tweak it wherever you need to do, away from the players, let him carry downfield. He does a great job with that.
Coach, and everything Coach talks about is team first, team this, no individuals. I love that about Coach. It really, but you do have a bunch of guys that are doing the right stuff for the program. Offensively, you have a solid run game led behind that outstanding O line. They're physical, Coach. They're very physical. Their O line is. I mean, I love Colin Kennedy. He's quietly is becoming, having a great season, great leader. Your run game, your defense is absolutely incredible. It's amazing. I think it's amazing that you have guys that play one side of the ball and other teams go both ways, and you're tiring them out, and you're fresh, and just it's very productive. It really is your philosophy. It really
And
is.
again, that's part of our success. That's what we do, and it's been going on there long before I got there. Maine started back in late 1990s, early 2000s.
Yeah.
It wasn't my invention; it was his. We just kept it going. It was a great idea, and all our guys buy into it, and it's just a formula that works for us.
Oh, it's definitely working, Coach Hoadley. Would you say that?
Yeah, I mean, you can't argue with the years of success. And again, I'm glad Coach brought up with Coach Fallon, who started the program, to Coach Batchelor, to Coach Schulte, but everything stayed within.
Yeah.
And again, you could see from the freshmen all the way up through the varsity, they stay within the program. The same culture is being taught down in the freshman level. So when they get up to the varsity level, it just the continuity rolls. I've seen it firsthand.
That's great. Now, Coach, going into this season, you told me you love your team. And that was something that I told Coach Hoadley. I said, there was something about how you said it, because I didn't think you had a lot of guys back offensively. I think you had a lot of places you had to fill out, but you really liked your team. And God darn, you were right, man. They are good football players, and new guys are coming in. And it's great about your program. Different faces, same results that happen in your playoffs. I mean, you've been in the finals every year, either won it or lost in the finals, and you got new faces in. Is tradition, how is tradition preached at Rumson? Is it something the seniors take with it, or do you have to always reteach it every year?
No. We tell our guys every year, every team has their own personality, and it's led by the seniors.
Mm-hmm.
We don't dictate that personality, right? We choose captains. It's not just the coach's choice. It's a lot of criteria that go into who's going to be our captains. It's based on grades and performance and status.
Wow.
It's not just a popularity contest.
Yeah.
And it's those guys that really set the tone for the rest of the seniors. And like I said, every team we've had is a little bit different, just like everybody else is a little bit different. But they always seem to carry it off. They do a great job.
That's great, man. Leading into the season, and you had a tough schedule, Coach. I mean, I think it's incredible.
One of the toughest schedules in the state of New Jersey. I mean that.
Coach Hoadley, they're
I think
Group 3 school playing the schools that they play in the short conference.
Exactly.
Do you think your
we
schedule?
played in the SEC.
Yeah.
And And then for our cross division game, 10.
I agree. I know.
Long Branch and Middletown South.
Coach, do you think your schedule helped you prepare for where you are right now?
Yes. My son Jeremy, who Shannon mentioned, is our defensive coordinator. He constantly says iron sharpens iron, and it does. The thing is, if we can get through our states, we think we have a shot.
Yeah.
Because of who we played.
You played some pretty good football teams. Yeah.
We don't have, there's not one mediocre team on our schedule. Every single team. In fact, every single team we played went to the States.
Yeah.
And a lot of them won.
Won the first round. Yes.
Yeah.
You did. I mean, you really did. You played some really good teams. And again, you guys are the good team that they were playing too. Leads you to the state championship game, Coach. Woodrow Wilson is your game that you're playing. Do you know anything? Do they resemble anybody in the Shore Conference?
Not that we've played. I mean, they're very athletic. They're fast. They like to play open scheme football, get both their athletes in space, and make something happen. So they're basically a spread type of offense. Defensive line is very good. They have an excellent quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
We have our hands. I mean, they definitely have our attention. There's no question about it. This is not, walk in the park by any stretch of the imagination.
No.
Very good football.
Yeah. Wow. So, I mean, well, I like to think Woodrow Wilson's in for a tough battle too. I mean, you guys defensively.
So would I.
Coach, defensively, I mean, I can't get over it. 0 first downs given up. I mean, that's eye-popping numbers, Coach Hoadley. 71-0 points differentiate. I mean, do you realize how dominant your defense is, or it just catches you after the game? Go, wow, I didn't realize that what we were doing out there.
Trying to live in the moment for the game, and then when we sit down, I mean, I don't really deal with statistics during the game. I don't know if they have a first down or didn't, or how many yards they have. The only stat I care about is when the game's over.
Scoreboard.
Yeah. Well,
after that, it's. Yeah. I mean, it's nice. It's all gravy when you have those type of stats, but that's the one that matters.
Well, I will say this because you and I are both defensive guys. That other guy over there, he's an offensive guy. Offense wins games, defense wins championships, and I'll argue that every day.
Yes, I will too.
I would do that. So, well, I'm sure the community's excited, Coach. I know the Shore Football Report. You're getting both of us at the game in the stands.
Friday night, be there.
I'll be in the stands watching, the best view in the house, watching you guys play there. I'm real excited for you guys, and we'll be rooting for you hard. Coach Holds, anything else you want to say before Coach breaks down more film on Huddle?
Well, listen, I mean, when you talk state championship football, Rumson just falls off the tip of your tongue.
Yeah.
There's a few short conference programs that you could just say when it comes to championship football, their names can be mentioned. RFH has been a staple, not only just on the football field, and coaches being humble right now, the amount of student athletes that go off to the next level, where I know we all pride ourselves on coaches, games are won or lost, that's only going to happen. That's minuscule of preparing the young men to be able to be success in life, which I know Coach as a man is about, and his staff. The amount of kids that go off to the next level of college and succeed, that's really the true victory, and that's the championship that we all pride ourselves on. And they really need to be applauded about that. I mean that.
Yeah. Thank you.
Coach, you always run a classy program. You always do, regardless of where you are, who you're playing. And, that's something as a head coach, I always looked up to you guys doing what you do. You really do. So you're a winner on and off the field coach. And that goes true with Rumson and Coach Schulte. It really does. Coach, we wish you the very best Friday, and we want to get you back onto the Huddle film so you guys could keep continuing your success. So, all right, Coach.
Thank you, Rob. Thank you, Shannon.
Love you, Coach. Love you.
Thanks again, Coach, and hopefully we get you back on the show later when you play in the bowl game in a couple weeks. Knock on wood.
That would be nice.
That would be nice.
Looking forward to it.
Thanks, Coach. Thanks again, Coach.
Thank you.
All right, Coach, here we go. Week 12, Coaches Top 20 poll. 22 coaches took time and did the votes this week, and we have a bunch of movement, and you want to take it from the top. Go ahead.
Well, week 12 now, we have a new number 1 at the top of the Coaches Top 20, Rumson Fairhaven, with their big win this past weekend, moving into the state finals, has moved from number 2 to number 1. Donovan Catholic, with the strong showing against BC, is ranked at number 2. RBC stays at number 3 with their win over Morris, who's got a tough Morris Catholic, who's got a tough game. The big mover this week on our top 20 is the Mariners of Toms River North, moving up from 11 to number 5, jumping 6 spots this week.
They're hot. They're hot.
Win over Edison.
They're hot.
Yep, a huge win over Edison, moving them into a state final game. From 6, 7, and 8, only a difference of 12 points separate Manasquan, Wall, and Point Barrow. Real tight right there. From 14, 15, and 16, only a difference of 7 points separate Shore, Lacey, and Central. But the big mover that you and I talked about that I really would not have predicted at the beginning of the year, the Neptune Scarlet Flyers, for the first time this year, break the Coaches Top 20. So obviously all the other coaches in the Shore, respecting what Coach Duffy and the staff have been doing down at Neptune, they finally cracked the top 20, coming in at number 20.
They're a very hot football team. If we had a press, we cleared out the season and started over again, Neptune would be up there in the top 20 right in the beginning. They're really playing good football right now, and they got to play Asbury Park on the Thanksgiving rivalry game, and they're playing really, really well for Coach Duffy. They really are. Coaching Toms River North, like you said before, they're one of the hottest football teams right now. They jumped from 11th to 5th. And Coach Oz, I'm a big Oz fan. I really am. Good friend of mine. Just playing really good football right now. And it's got them really believing. And they really believe, and they have every right to, that they can win a state sectional championship. Rumson flipping with Donovan Catholic. To me, those 3 teams, they're all the same.
They're all interchangeable.
I mean, if we can make all 3 of them the number 1 team, I think we could. You know, as you can see, the voting is so tight. 421.
Well, they either beat each other or they lost away. I mean, they've all got a leg up on each other. Yep.
They all have a claim in the number 1 seeding. They really do. So I mean, everybody else kind of moved here or there. You know, but the big thing is Neptune moved up. You know, and it's starting to settle a little bit. Yeah, you could say this team beat that team, but they lost to this team. Why is this team above? Because it shows that there's so much parity in our short conference. And Coach, you know, guys got to get out of their head. Well, we beat them. How are they above us? Well, same thing goes for college football. I mean, you can win a game against a team, but then be ranked higher than you at the end of the year. Maybe the law of averages or they're playing better football. Who knows?
Yep.
And that happens. Right. So kids got to get out of their head. Oh, well, how could that team be ranked over us if we beat them? Yeah, but they beat that team that you lost to. So that, deletes all of that stuff. So there's a lot of good football in the Shore Conference. And then you look at the receiving votes: Homedale, Keensburg, Monmouth, Matawan, Vienna, Barnegat, and Asbury Park. So you got 2, 4, 6, 7, 27 schools have gotten some type of recognition with votes, and it's credit to all those guys in the Shore Conference. We have a great Shore Conference. We really do. A lot of things can happen. Anybody can win one week or the other, or be very competitive with a lot of teams, and very proud of that, Coach. Very, very good football programs in the Shore Conference.
But again, with the creation of the Coaches Top 20, and I know we've spoken this almost ad nauseum.
Yep.
This is why it's so special. You get a team like Marlboro had such a special season. If you went with past polls, they weren't going to be ranked in the top 10.
No.
They wouldn't be talked about.
No.
But they deserve to be talked
about.
I mean, 7-3 had a great year. So they're ranked in the top 20.
Yeah.
Again, it's ranked by the coaches. These are your peers that are talking about your programs.
Yeah. Good take, Coach, on the top 20. I do appreciate it every week. I love how you do it. I'm ready to talk about state championship games now. Are you ready, Coach?
Let's get it.
Let's do it. Let's talk state championship football games. Well, let's work backwards first. Let's talk about the state semifinals for the
Before we
parochial
get to the championship.
before we get to the good part.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what I'm saying, Coach? You're the type of
I agree with you. Because we're
when you have
a
food,
semifinal compared to a
Coach,
final.
when you have food on your plate, do you eat the good part first and you wait for the bad part second? I kind of eat. I want the good part at the end. I want the
agree with you.
championship first. I mean,
You want to
last.
savor
I do.
the end.
I do.
agree.
I do. It's just me. I'm giving out my eating tips. So, people might follow it on Thanksgiving. It works. It puts 5-10 pounds on you. Trust me. All right, here we go. Non-public B State semifinal round game. Number 3, St. Joe's Hamilton, who's 8-2, is playing our Shore Conference team, who's 9-1. Number 2 seed Red Bank Catholic, having a great year. Played a great game in their first round against Morris Catholic. Coach, I think everybody knows who the athletes are. Let's talk a little bit of the linemen for Red Bank Catholic, because St. Joe's Hamilton, they like to play bully ball. They like to gap scheme you and run their pin and pull, buck trap and all that.
Yep.
Let's not talk about the skill kids right now. Let's talk about the guys in the trenches. I'm gonna do a kid that doesn't get as much recognition that I think is good. Ryan McPherson.
Well, you already got offered by Monmouth. Yep.
Okay. Ryan McPherson is that edge player who I think is very good football player.
He is. I've seen him play
he is. Yep. And he's a good kid too. I think he's going to come in big. And of course, we know they got Bauman. Who are some of the guys inside on defense and offense that might play big roles in this game?
So inside on the defensive line?
Offensive line. I know you got Lorenzo Portella. He's a dude on both sides.
So
how about Donnelly? Donnelly?
Yep. Yeah. So you got Portella on that's a sophomore over at the guard spot at the right side. You also got Ashton Mejias, who I know very well, obviously, at the left guard spot. That's a plug and play player that came over from my program.
Yeah.
Along next to Carpenter, who's a monster of a kid at left tackle.
It's pretty
as well.
Big.
Yeah. So I mean, I've seen them up front that obviously the offense and defensive line can push around and bully around with anybody else in the state of New Jersey. I saw that firsthand.
And linebacker wise, their sophomore Brayton.
Bruton, yeah.
Bruton, is it Bruton?
Yep.
Having a great year. Yeah, people forgetting very quickly he's only a sophomore.
Another super soft. I agree with you, Coach.
And Sabino Portella, the safety.
Yeah.
Two-way player, Coach, plays OD. He's going to be on all the All-Star teams. We all know that. Outstanding physical football player. He's a baller. You know that? But that linebacker from RBC, Cooper.
I know him a little bit. Yeah.
He's pretty good, Coach.
Yeah.
He's pretty good. What I'm trying to say is Red Bank Catholic's got some players.
Yeah, they do.
You know? Red Bank Catholic has some play. We didn't even have to mention Alex Brown. We didn't have to mention Emmanuel Ross. We didn't have to mention Jaden Hayes. All those dudes. Torin Harmon.
Rahman. Yep.
Coach, that's a name that like at any time could have a breakout game.
I agree with you that we're actually starting to see the sophomores and juniors, and it's almost
quietly,
like you're waiting,
yeah.
You're waiting for that one big game where, bam, 8 catches for 175 yards in 2000.
Yeah, and we know RBC's got an outstanding kicking game too.
Yep.
Right, Jake
Jacobson.
Jake Jacobson. Yep. I always spell his name wrong. I put an O or an E and E and O. Yeah. I mean, big, strong, physical looking kicker. Wow. How far can he kick?
He could be legit, on a field goal. He could be good from about 40 yards.
That's amazing. So he can kick 40 more yards than me. It's amazing. I can't kick it. I cannot kick it, Coach. No. That's amazing.
This is an intriguing game though because
Yeah.
St. Joe's again. I know both teams from coaching against them and scheming against them for years.
Mhm.
Coach Sacco's been there for a staple for. They're going to run their wing tee, but everybody, like we touched on a little bit,
Stubborn.
they, you know,
They're
what's that?
stubborn. They're gonna run that. They're gonna run their. They're gonna run
No
their.
matter what,
They're gonna
they're
run
going to
their
run what they
program
run, and
plays.
that's it.
They're gonna
Yep,
run their program plays and gonna say you have to stop us. And if you
yep,
do, you're gonna make them feel uncomfortable. But they're gonna do everything possible. They're
yep,
gonna they're gonna run unbalanced and do it.
yep.
They're gonna run
Correct.
all these different shifts because they're gonna
Correct. But
still
it's
run
the
those
same
same plays.
That's exactly right.
And RBC, if they can hold it, the edge, hold the edge, and don't let them run that, buck sweep.
Buck sweep.
If they can, which RBC has the dudes, they're sturdy and physical kids, and they have a lot of kids they play in. Red Bank Catholic, I think, could wear them out. That's what I'm hoping that they can do, and they can score at any time. RBC, this is a great matchup. I like RBC. I just do. I kind of have them into the finals. I really do. It might be a little biased.
I do too. I'm really looking forward to see RBC gets their job done this week, and then hopefully see an RBC DePaul matchup.
The thing that scares me though is they handle St. Thomas Aquinas 45-12. Did you expect that? Was St. Thomas?
No, I didn't expect it to be that lopsided. No.
It was.
St. Joe. Listen, before we ended up beating them in the state semifinals back in 2016, St. Joe's had won 25 state championships. They know what they're doing down there, and again, they're not going to change.
Parochial won though.
Yeah, correct, and that's a great point. Now St. Joe's of Hamilton, which was a perennial parochial one, and excellent, has jumped up in the last 2 years to parochial non-public 2. Now they're jumping up almost and playing a non-public Group 3 team. So now we'll see. That's a good point, Coach.
St. Joe's Hamilton, when they split into 2 parochials, Hamilton kind of suffered because now everybody gets consolidated into only 2 instead of 3. Correct. And now Red Bank Catholic is playing a Hamilton team that's owned the smaller parochials.
Yep.
The switch that they did, the state didn't help St. Joe's Hamilton. Didn't. But with that being done and said, it's going to be a good football game.
Yep.
Doesn't mean they're not a good football team. They've dominated the lower state playoffs for non-publics for years.
Absolutely.
So Red Bank Catholic, St. Joe's Hamilton will be a barn burner that we'll be watching on Twitter. I'll be switching every 5 minutes, with that. So that's a must-see game. Now let's go to the finals. Let's go to the championship. The championship, we got South Jersey 2, 8-3, number 2 seed Willingboro is driving all the way to Point Borough, the number 1 seed at 9-1. And I say that drive, it means a lot. Just like St. Joe's Hamilton's got a big drive too.
They're all the way up, yeah. Damn right they do.
They got a lot. Gas mileage, man.
On a Friday, no less. Have school till 2:00 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
And then have to drive that travel. Yep.
So you got Willingboro driving to Point Borough.
Where is that as opposed to for mileage? Distance between
Willingboro, I would say that's an hour and 20.
Wow.
Coach, I get car sick if I drive to Wawa. It's around the corner. You're laughing, right? It's disgusting the way I'm driving, throwing up on the side of the road with that. I couldn't do that, but that's a big trip. Willingboro, athletes all over the place. They won 36-14 versus a Nottingham team that was undefeated. So that was a very impressive win in the semis. Point Borough won 28-7, which was equally impressive in the semis, beating a New Providence team that had a big stud running back that ran for 5,200 yards for his career. This is a game. Oh, hold on. You there?
Over New Providence, yeah.
This is going to be a coin flip.
Yep.
It really is. Willingboro's got athletes. Point Borough's got swarming players with their philosophy on offense and defense. They're 3-3 stack, blitzing and going all over different. They're playing good team football. I love Vitale. I love Croce. Oliphant. And Cilianto is probably one of the most unsung guys out there that just produces in different moments. And this could be a game that he has a big moment. It really is. But I love the lineman at Point Borough. I like Skinner and this kid Boom Davidson. I mean, you don't need that. Yeah, I mean, with that name, you have to say it on the show. They're physical. They have high energy. They're youthful.
Led by their coach.
I like Reynolds. I like a lot of the guys on Point Borough. I do. Um, there and then Willowbro's got the athletes. This is going to be a big game, but it's at Point Borough, and playing at Point Borough is tough. For the crowd, the community, this is going to be a great field there. Point Borough has a legit shot to win another state championship. I'm pulling for Coach Stop. I'm pulling for him big time. It's not a matter of I think they can do it. I know they're going to do it. I think they're going to do it with that. Central Jersey Group 2 state playoff game. Number 3, Haddonfield, who's 8-2, or no. Yeah, they're 8-2, playing the number 1 seed Raritan, who's 6-4.
Yeah.
Haddonfield beat Bernards in a minor upset, 24-14. And then Raritan won a shootout, 41-34. Coach, I said in the beginning that this bracket was so wide open, and it is. I mean,
you're right.
This game right here, I mean, can go down to the last seconds. Haddonfield has been a traditional state power for years. No different here. No different here. They play good football down there in South Jersey. I just feel weird saying Central Jersey when Haddonfield's always been South Jersey. It's just weird.
Yeah,
but this is a big road trip for Haddonfield.
And again, another big road trip game. I was just going to say, you're right.
Playing Raritan
on a Friday night.
Yeah, I mean, Haddonfield likes to do a lot of gimmicky things. They like to shift and go unbalanced. They like to. It's almost like a pro style offense. They're always not going to. They're not going to just run the same play in the same formation. They're going to give you different looks, and you got to adjust to their shifts personnel, and unbalances and all that stuff. Haddonfield loves to do that. Raritan, their triple is really going at it with fall zone. You know, Campanella, Calicari. You know, Hutchins is the director, just like Vitale from Point Borough. He gets the guys the ball, and he can throw it too with a little play action, winging it. They're playing good football, and they play 2 platoon football as best as they could. Now, we said this before in a talk show last week with Coach Petrus. This looks like that team that won the state championship from a couple years ago.
I agree with you.
And, you know, they were 3-5 going into the playoffs and won the whole thing. Raritan was 4-4 going into the playoffs and a 1 seed. Very odd to see that, but this would be something special to win it on their home turf, Coach.
And you said it best, too, when you went and saw Raritan play. This is going to be a great atmosphere at Raritan. Great atmosphere in Hazlet. I mean, this is going to be packed.
Yep. I'm excited for the Rockets. I'm excited for Coach Petruzzi. We're pushing for you. Let's see Raritan win a state title. All right. I got Coach. I'm going to be honest with you. A lot of my picks, and plus I can say that because I'm winning so much on my weekly, are going to be shore based. Just to be honest with you.
Rob, on my hand, I was just making my note. I was going to come out and say, listen, I'll give you my picks now. I'm taking all short teams.
Oh, so am I. So good. So I know that you're not going to lap me.
So your win is already secured. Okay, we got it.
Well, dude, you're getting a number 1 pick next year.
Put the King's crown on. You got it.
Coach, you're getting a number 1 pick next year. You're in the last spot with Germano. Fight it out. Central Jersey Group 3, 7-2 Woodrow Wilson, a 2 seed, playing 9-1 Rumson, a 1 seed. If there is a marquee matchup, it's this game right here. Woodrow Wilson put up 565, 570 yards offense on Manasquan.
Yeah.
They made a statement. They won 34-7 in that game, Coach.
Yeah.
On the other side, Rumson, I don't know if the lights even work on the scoreboard for the visiting teams because nobody seems to score. on Rumson, Coach.
Yeah.
They must save
Listen,
money that way.
are you a big pro wrestling fan?
I like it.
I'm a
Depends.
diehard pro wrestling
Who
fan.
do you like?
In the immortal words of Gorilla Monsoon,
Oh, okay.
this is the immovable object against the unstoppable force. That's what this comes down to with that offense against Rumson's defense.
Woodrow Wilson is a very impressive football team and is going to push Rumson's buttons right to the end. Now, what I like though is I don't know as much as Woodrow Wilson as, but I do know about Rumson. 2 platoon, right? Check. If Woodrow Wilson cannot maneuver against Rumson immediately, the energy level has to go down, Coach.
Sure it does.
Because they're wearing you out. They're leaning on you. They're doing it. Rumson doesn't run a spread offense. Rumson wears you out because that's Coach Schulte and Coach Cornelius and the OC. That's their philosophy, is to play team ball and win. And they're wearing you out. So when people are in the stands going, why are they running this play here or there? Well, little do you know, every time a kid makes a tackle, it has to get up and off the pile and all that.
It's starting to add up.
Your energy level is going lower. Now, meanwhile, there's a guy, Lista and McKay, Moriarty, Sullivan on defense that are got their water bottles and they're resting. And then they come onto the field.
Up on the sideline.
Right? And the kid Bunnell, I think is Bunnell, the D tackle? I'm hearing a lot of things about him, the sophomore. Coach, they're resting. To me, what's intimidating is if I'm a coach for the other team and your best players are playing on defense and you're looking over there and the Rumson offense is resting or the defense is resting, I'm like, it's just.
And sitting there knowing that you end up going down there with your huddle screen that we all did when you afforded to, and you be able to go back to the last series of down to show you what you did wrong. This is what we could do right. They're all sitting down in the chairs getting your water break, and then it's time to go. That's 100% right, Coach. I mean, it's intimidating to see. It really is.
It's impressive to see. And how they do it. They're a Group 3 school that can do things that maybe Group 5s can do, parochials can do.
Yep.
I mean,
not many Group 4s do, right? I agree.
No, it's hard. I mean, it's so amazing that. And
I will say this, a little tidbit on this game. The game being played at Rumson is totally different if this game was being played at Woodrow Wilson. Because I do know that Woodrow Wilson's one of the toughest places to play. You know, trust me, it's a very angst environment when you play at Woodrow Wilson. So home field advantage helps them out here.
Yeah, it does. And they deserve it. I'm going to be there. You're going to be there. You're going to be on the sidelines?
Well, if you got the legend sitting next to you, I might just back off the sideline so I could sit up there and sit next to you and the legend. So.
Coach Rosillo, that's talking, right? Yeah. Coach Rosillo's come with me. I am driving. Everybody knows that secret out there right now. But, I can't wait to see. I told Coach Rosillo the schedule, and he's like a kid in a candy store. He's like, I like Burrow. Raritan looks very good. He couldn't make a choice. But when I said Rumson was playing Woodrow Wilson, Coach Rosillo, back in the day, beat Woodrow Wilson 2 years in a row to win the state title. It got in his head. He goes, I want to go to see Woodrow Wilson and Rumson. So we're bringing back memories. So I'll be talking about Keith Elias for the next.
Keith Elias, my senior year.
Keith Elias, we'll be talking about with that. But Rumson.
We got to get there early. We got to get to Val's Tavern then. We got to get there early.
Woodrow Wilson and Rumson is going to be a game of the ages, Coach. Rumson's been in the state finals every year that Coach has been there, except for the COVID season, and nobody played in that. So good luck to Rumson, and that was a great interview Coach Schulte had right there. You know what the thing I liked about with Coach Schulte? He's all about the program, the name Rumson over the star players. They'll get their due in the All-Star when the All-Star things are picked.
But he will not signify, nor will he tag one individual on a team. You're right.
I give him credit. He is good at defensive stuff. Because I try to pry it out of him, right? Yeah. I had Coach Schulte. He wouldn't do it.
It's being passed down to his son, Jeremy. Yep.
Defensively, he's stern. It's like, nope. I want to talk about. I like that. Yeah. I like that. So good luck to to Rumson and Coach Schulte and his staff. We'll see them Friday on that. Good. North 2 Group 4 state playoff game. This is 1 versus 2. 8-1 ours. Shore Conference team. Number 2, Middletown South, led by head Coach Antonucci, versus the number 1 team, Irvington, who's 9-2. This is a big trip too for Middletown South. Maybe not as far as the other ones, but
You're going up to exit 144 on the Parkway.
yeah, uncharted waters, should we say? They're not used to playing each other. But Middletown South won 17-8 over a stingy Sayreville football team, and Irvington had to win a squeaker 14-7 over Colonia. So both teams played tough games. Middletown South is very good defensively.
Yeah.
Very
I know
good
both teams
defensively.
very well. I know Coach Smoke up at Irvington very well.
Yeah.
A couple of my former players are playing up at Irvington. We would
yeah?
scrimmage them, game scrimmage every year with them. So I know what they're going to do. There's a lot, they're going to bring a lot of pressure off the edge. They're going to try to spread you out in space and get their athletes out there. But Middletown South's game plan of what they do against them will probably take Irvington out of their game plan.
Being physical.
Yep, absolutely. Yep.
I mean, Middletown South, real simple. You better be able to take hits.
Yep. I think that's where they succeed right here. I agree with you.
I think they're tough on the edges. Jack Latour,
Yep.
Colin Gallagher.
Yep.
Williamson's not bad, too.
Yep.
You know that,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Tommy Schwark, the defensive back, quarterback, and, of course, Primiano, the running back. They got some quality guys, too, Coach. So I like Middletown. If Middletown South could score early with their defense, they're in a good position. But Irvington's good. Irvington's good, but I love when people say that. Like Irvington would be real good. So is Middletown South.
I agree, Coach.
And you put a little secret out there. And I said at the beginning of the year that Middletown South was going to be that special team that was going to be different from the year past. And I think they were 2-4 last year to 8-1 now. I wasn't surprised when Antonucci was on our talk show in the summer. I felt the vibes. He loved the football team, just like.
And I knew it firsthand because I knew the division. We coached in the division.
Oh yeah.
Against the legend. He was young last year, and those kids. And I mean that division that those kids were battle tested, battling every week. Was only going to pay dividends this year.
Coach, yep. So good luck to Middletown South. A program that's been there, done it, and you know what? It doesn't dilute and the feel right now. I mean, Coach Antonucci will have the same butterflies he did when he was coaching.
Absolutely.
When he was coaching, you know who, Moreno and all that stuff. South Jersey Group 5. What a great story for both teams. To be honest with you, you're talking about the fourth.
That Tom-driven North is going to be home for a state championship game.
4 seed versus the 3 seed. Wow. 6-4, the 4 seed Kingsway, versus 7-3, the 3 seed Tom River North. That's different. I mean, it's different. I mean, it's different. Kingsway beat Lenape 20-17. Lenape the week before beat Washington Township with a field goal. So a little what do you call it? Cinderella's story.
Yeah.
Who's going to get the glass slipper? Tom River North won 48-7 over Edison. That showed that their win in the first week was not a fluke, and they're tough. I don't see North losing this game. Knock on wood. I know they're young. You never know how 15, 16-year-old, maybe 17-year-old kids are going to be. They have 3 seniors, I think, on the team.
Wow.
But Coach, they have speed. They have athletic ability. They're big up front, and I think they're deep. That's a pretty good. And they're home. But anything can happen in the state playoff game. I love Micaiah Ford. Love him.
Yep.
I love Tariq Council. I love Bolin, the linebacker. I like Kozlowski, the linebacker. Yep. Dudes. They're dudes. I love the line of Tom River North. A lot of good linemen on that thing, and they're young. Dowd is there. Smith. They got young guys. If you watch what they do, they'll go empty and have everybody in a line of scrimmage. How many gaps are you filling? and then they'll shift guys and they'll do this, and there's the quarterback who's really a running back, and
He's an athlete. Correct. He's an athlete. Yeah.
and they're running stretch and zone and counter tray, and whew, they do a lot of good stuff offensively, and they did some stuff defensively, which I liked, that gave Edison problems. They went with a 2-man rush sometimes and kind of bubbled the other guy back, and they were pinching the ends,
Mm-hmm.
and they couldn't run the ball on North. Needless to say, every level was being covered in the pass game. They just really gave the quarterback from Edison a different look, and I thought he did a great job on long situations. It was really
And to be honest with you, Coach, I'm going to pick Tom Driven North here as well. But no matter what happens in this game, this is a great season for the Mariners.
Yep.
For they have that much youth on the team to be playing in a Group 5 state championship game that we have never, ever predicted in the beginning of the year. And be home for that game as well. That's going to pay so many more dividends down the road for Oz and that team.
Mm-hmm.
It's really exciting times there.
So there's a lot of exciting times in the short conference. We have 5 potential state champions this week. If Red Bank Catholic does their thing, they'll advance. So we have 6 teams still alive. 5 we're gonna find out Friday. Yeah. Wow. Exciting times.
Yep.
Wow, that was a good interview with Coach Schulte. I don't know, those of you who know Coach Schulte, he doesn't do a lot of interviews.
No, he doesn't.
No,
he doesn't. Yep.
So that was special having him on. We got him twice this year too. Wow. I wonder if he's gonna charge me for that. That would be he's tough. 2 of them.
Well, I mean, I think and I know Coach a long, long time. I think it's genuine when he said he appreciates what we're doing with your football report. You know, you could tell, because again, I agree with you.
I actually sent him a text. Say this.
Yeah.
So just read the text.
No, all jokes aside, I mean, when he says that, I think it's genuine. I think that's what we've created this year. So obviously, your baby, the way that's grown this year, that the coaches really respond to this because they know where it's coming from. Coming from 2 coaches talking and talking about their program and giving them the platform to talk about their programs. Most importantly, you know, kudos to us. Kudos to Coach Schulte and the rest of the short conference.
Well, it was a good time. Week 12 is done. We're done with week 12. Excited about next week. Next week's going to be Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
The best holiday out there. And we'll have some fun with that. Maybe for Thanksgiving, we'll have a special guest other than the teams that are playing during I don't know. We'll figure something out for Thanksgiving. We'll do not a lot to talk about because there's only a couple teams playing.
True.
Maybe I'll interview my turkey I'm going to eat.
Or maybe we could talk to a former head coach. Ooh. Excellent.
Maybe we can talk to a former head coach who's been there, done it with their thing. And I know there's a couple out there. I'll probably get a text tomorrow about the.
Who are you talking? Exactly. What coach you doing?
Yeah, I know they're listening. So let's keep our ratings going.
Yeah.
We're getting 500 to 1,000 on our show, and I can't even imagine who the 500 people are because nobody wants to say hello to me when they see me face to face. So unscripted we are, and that's that.
Well, that's the good thing about Friday night when we go to game at Rumson. Even though they might not want to talk to us, me and you, Coach Versillo will be there. Hey, everybody's going to always come up and talk to Coach Versillo.
Oh, that's right. We're going in the stands at Rumson. Rumson fans, we are picking you. We are on your side, right? So there should be nobody booing us.
Exactly. Right.
We're going to bring the house. Yeah, so we're going to get going. I'm excited. I look forward to the Friday night football games every week, and this will be nothing different. Watching a Rumson game on their side, on their stands, is good. Coach, I refuse to go on the sidelines. I never want to do something where, first of all, I can't see the game from the sideline. I never want to ever be a distraction.
Yeah.
with that. Okay, we good?
We're good, my
Always
friend.
good. Always a pleasure to have you. Talking on here, and wishing everybody the very best this weekend, Coach. All right.
And let's just end it how we started this show. I know how you feel truly. Our prayers and thoughts go
Yeah.
out to the
Yeah.
Gibbs family and to the Brown family.
Yeah.
That's how we started, and that's how we'll end. That football is just a microcosm, small part of our life. When we talk about people, and we talk about lives, God bless the Gibbs family and the Brown family.
Coach, I'm not lying to you. I needed this show probably more than you thought. I mean, I was looking at all my text messages Coach Gibbs has given me through the thing, and I went up to one of my former assistants and said, "Send me all those clips he sent us on Huddle." I know I'm very much about you know keeping memorabilia stuff and all that. I don't like to throw things out, and I'm going to look at my notes in my office over there that he did, because everything he gave me was something I valued a lot. He's helped a lot of people, and my prayers are out to not only coach the Gibbs family, the whole community, and anybody that knew him like I did. I sympathize for you, because it hurts. It hurts. It hurts caring for people and seeing people leave way too early, Coach. It stinks. It really stinks. So, all right. I appreciate you bringing that up too. I really do. All right.
No worries.
Best of, just wish the best for everybody. And please, I think if everybody did this, reach out to somebody tomorrow. Text somebody, email somebody, go up to somebody in the hallway and really tell them what you think. In a good way. In a good way. Try it one day. I mean, I like to do that randomly. People think I'm a whack job. I get it. You like me. Relax. But you know what? It goes a long way. It goes.
You never know.
You never want to. You never want to go and say, I wish I said this to a person or whatever. Don't be afraid that, hey, the guy might think I'm a little strange and all that. Say, hey, how you feeling? Thinking of you. Thanks for everything you do for me. Do something special tomorrow, because when your time's done, it stinks, man. It really stinks.
I said it before with Coach Schulte. I every time I end up seeing him, I always end it with, "I love you, Coach." I mean, that doesn't make me weak as a man. I always want him to know that I always express that to him, because he made an impact on me, and that's a great point. Like you just said, don't be afraid to express your emotions and tell the people what you feel.
I think tomorrow a lot of people are going to get text messages from me.
Yeah.
There's your warning. All right, and it's also going to say, watch our show. So, all right, Coach. God bless everybody. Wishing you best, Coach Hoadley, Coach Davis. We are getting better each week. Can't wait to see you next week.
Yep.
See you later.